station with the most local news. Fox 17 News at 4 starts right now.
The only station with 3 hours of local news starts right now. And first at 4, dangerous conditions leading to that massive pileup along I94. More than 120 vehicles involved, including a truck carrying fireworks. Tonight we are learning at least one person has died in this pileup. The whole thing started around 9:30 this morning in the eastbound lanes of I94 near Climax. Within minutes, there were dozens of chain reaction crashes with dozens of people hurt. The highway is still shut down at this hour between mile marker 88 and 92 east of Galesburg. We have team coverage of this deadly pileup. Jessica McMaster talked to witnesses who saw the whole thing happen. Paul Cicchini has been speaking with people involved in the fiery crash. But we begin tonight with Darren Cunningham, who has been at the scene all day for us. He and his photographer watched this incredible scene unfold. Darren.
Yes, Michelle, the smoke has been billowing for hours. At one point, you couldn't see the sky. Take a look right here. Still very much an active scene. The Kalamazoo County Sheriff told me crews are still working to put out car fires. We're talking about 2 pileups on both sides of the highway, causing a semi to burst into flames. Next to that burning semi, another truck was hauling fireworks. But look at what happened while we were shooting video. That would be fireworks exploding as our camera rolled. Fox 17 photojournalist Chris Sage had to dive into a ditch to get out of harm's way. In fact, everyone ran for cover. We heard state police say more than 100 vehicles were involved. There's very little space between the pileups on both sides. Where one ends, the other begins. Sheriff Richard Fuller told me it's not clear why a second pileup occurred, but he suspects it was a domino effect on both sides of I-94. This is I-94. This is not the first pileup we've heard of, unfortunately.
Right.
In your years of experience, just talk about this. What is it about this stretch?
In this stretch, I've worked out here for over 26 years now, and in this stretch, what we have found is that you're in a wind tunnel. I mean, right now you can feel the wind. You can probably see it pushing against all of us, and the wind pushes straight on down I-94. So that has its own problems. Sometimes it's icy because of that. Sometimes it's just wind blown where you can't see the road, and so any of those conditions could be a contributing factor to today's crashes.
And he says that the county and area agencies do what they can to prevent something like this, but because of Mother Nature, sometimes there's just too much to overcome and the roads become icy, and we're told the roads will stay shut down for several hours well into the night as authorities untangle this mess. Several agencies again have responded, including the Red Cross, and the victims involved in these pileups, they have been taken to Galesburg Augusta Elementary School. Paul Cicchini will have more on that at 4:30. But for now, live from Kalamazoo County, Darren Cunningham, Fox 17 News.
Yeah, Darren, we'll get to Paul in just a second. Let's go back now to those fireworks. I mean, that is an unbelievable sight. And tell us again just how close you guys were. Chris Sage, I know, was out there fairly close when that all started.
Yeah, we were just feet away getting video of the fire. I had just actually made it back to the news Jeep. Moments after that, the explosion occurred. And at that time, Sheriff Fuller and I were standing there getting video with our cell phones. Meantime, our photographer was still there getting video. He had to dive into a ditch. And shortly after that, his camera actually fell over. We're hearing that one of the first responders was actually hit by one of the fireworks and had to be taken to the hospital. So this is just a very unbelievable scene.
Yeah, it really is. All right, Darren, we'll check in with you a little bit. Thanks for that. Kevin Craig is here now to look at what the weather conditions were like at that time when this whole thing started.
Yeah, boy, this actually seems like a scene out of a movie, does it not?
Does,
this is very reminiscent, Michelle, of, over the last several years, we've had 10, 20, 30, 40 car pileups along 131, along 96, along 196, all attributed to the weather conditions, but they had about 7 or 8 inches of snow down there overnight from this system. But we had what I believe is a snow squall with zero visibilities late lake effect generated come through this area. And we have the proof is in the pictures and the proof is in the radar. Good afternoon, everybody. Let's go to that. This is radar imagery that's rendered from between 8:30 this morning and about 9:15, 9:30. And I want to point something out. Here's Battle Creek, here's Galesburg's where Darren was, and then here's Kalamazoo. Look at this dark band, and here's 94 right here. Look at this dark band of blue snow coming on through here. This was right about 9, 9:10, 9:15. While we had conditions just before the top of the hour from the National Weather Service surface observations, about 3/4 of a mile, I believe this snow squall came through with wind, probably dropped visibilities down for about 10 or 15 minutes, down to about 0 with that blowing and drifting snow, and that's probably what created that accident. As you look a little bit tighter here, here's the Calhoun County, Kalamazoo County line here, and you can see that very dark band coming right along I-94. National Weather Service doesn't have reporting stations in Galesburg, but they do. The two closest ones are in Kalamazoo and Battle Creek. So, for example, we had a temperature at 9 o'clock of 14 degrees in Kalamazoo, 17 degrees in Battle Creek. Wind chills were down around 0. We had westerly winds at 14 miles per hour, and the official National Weather Service observations on visibility at that time was about 3/4 of a mile. But once that snow squall came in here, that dropped visibilities probably down to 0, and that was the start of that whole entire accident. No doubt we're going to hear a lot more about this as the investigation continues through the coming days and weeks and perhaps even months. We'll have more coming up in the 4:30 half hour. Michelle?
All right, thanks, Kevin. And we continue our team coverage right now with Fox 17's Jessica McMaster. And Jess, you spoke with some of the people who saw this whole thing unfold as well.
Yeah, that's right, Michelle. We did. Just an incredibly horrifying scene out here, as you heard Darren mentioning earlier. I'm going to move out of the way so that we can give you yet another look at that. You can see crews are still working to remove some of those tractor trailers out of the ditch there. I know there's a billow of smoke, so it's hard to see past that, but there's actually several cars still waiting to be towed away. Now, we did speak with that witness, Ed Olette, who actually provided us with this video. He was on his way to work driving west here on I94 when he came upon the crash in those eastbound lanes. He says the traffic came to a stop. That's when he pulled off to the side of the road and began recording, but then just within minutes, cars behind him began crashing into each other.
Everybody kind of stopped and was just kind of looking to see what's going on, and then the cars behind us just started piling up. Driving upon it was pretty scary, with vehicles hanging on the guardrail and seeing some flames starting. That was concerning, and when you see people running, it's certainly a scary situation.
Now, again, it's still just too early to tell how many people were hurt as a result of this crash. Michigan State Police tell us that one person is dead as a result. We're going to continue to bring you coverage throughout the 4, 5, and 6 o'clock newscast, so you're going to want to stick with us for the most up-to-date information. For now, live in Kalamazoo County, Jessica McMaster, Fox 17 News.
All right, Jess, thanks. We'll see you in a bit. And we have heard dozens of other crashes all over the Kent County area and other parts of West Michigan coming into our newsroom all throughout the day. Those snow-covered roads, just really icy conditions out there. Joining me from the Fox 17 Weather Center, Chief Meteorologist Joe Kopacek. And Joe, what can we expect as we go into the rest of tonight?
Well, Michelle, good news is we're going to gradually see these snow showers diminish. But out there right now, it's still a situation where in one area it can be partly sunny. In other areas, visibility drops down to near 0. Take a look. Here's our Allendale GVSU campus. You can see visibility down probably a half a mile to a mile right now, and that indicates some moderate snow, and it's been falling across the area. Meanwhile, go down to Coldwater, hard to tell, but appears a little bit of sun trying to peek out. So this is a type of situation, unlike yesterday when it was a general snow over all of West Michigan. This is a type of situation where you can get those heavy snow squalls. Visibility can go from unrestricted down to near 0 in a matter of minutes. Here's a look at the radar. We are still going to be dealing with snow showers throughout the evening hours. Zoom in just a little bit closer. Running right along 96. Again, this is generally not as heavy as yesterday, but if you're going down 196 over toward Holland, there's a heavier band off to the south and west towards Holland and Saugatuck. 131 southward, again, snow showers in that direction. You get further south, though, south of 94 right now, and it's generally just some partly sunny skies and flurry activity at Three Rivers and Coldwater. Of course, the other story, the temps right now 5 to 10 degrees, 5 at Fremont, 10 at South Haven, so another bitterly cold afternoon. Wind chills as cold as 10 to 13 degrees below 0. Tomorrow, it's going to be cold in the morning. There'll be some scattered Snow showers, temperatures right around 5 or 6 degrees. There is a break in the cold weather and the snow coming up, and when I come back in Maine weather, I'll tell you about that, Michelle.
Thanks for that, Joe. And we will be back after the break with continuing coverage of the weather forecast. Plus, we will check in with Kalamazoo County Sheriff Richard Fuller on those pileups on I-94 this morning. We'll be right back.